In the quiet hum of a hospital room, a man who once could not move his arms slowly reaches for a glass of water. A small chip, no larger than a coin, connects his thoughts to a robotic limb. For the first time in years, his brain and the world around him are communicating again. This is not science fiction anymore. This is the dawn of a new era, the neural dawn. Across the planet, engineers, neuroscientists, and technology pioneers are unlocking the code of the human brain. They are building bridges between biology and circuitry, between neurons and algorithms. Every thought we have, every emotion we feel, and every dream we imagine is now becoming something measurable, recordable, and even transferable. For centuries, humanity has tried to understand consciousness, the very thing that defines who we are. Now, we are not only trying to understand it, we are learning how to shape it, share it, and someday, perhaps, expand it beyond the limits of our own skulls. Brain implants, or neural interfaces, are changing what it means to be human. They promise to cure paralysis, restore lost senses, and enhance memory, but they also open deeper questions. If our thoughts can be read, can they also be rewritten? If we can store memories, can they be edited? And if machines can think with us, will they one day think for us? The story of the neural dawn is the story of human evolution's next leap, a leap not in muscle or bone, but in mind and connection. It is a story of incredible hope, breathtaking innovation, and profound ethical challenges. Because what we are building now may not only change how we live, but how we experience reality itself. Welcome to the neural dawn, the age when technology begins to merge with thought. Deep inside the human skull lies a structure more mysterious and powerful than any supercomputer ever built. It weighs about 1.5 kilograms, yet it controls every heartbeat, every movement, every memory, and every dream. This is the human brain, the most complex machine in the known universe. Within this small organ are about 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects with thousands of others through tiny gaps called synapses. Together they form an intricate network that can generate thought, emotion, and imagination. Every flicker of light you see, every sound you hear, and every smell you notice is processed through electrical impulses firing between these cells at incredible speed. For centuries, scientists have tried to understand how this biological masterpiece works. In the 19th century, researchers first discovered that the brain communicates through electricity. By the mid-20th century, we learned that different parts of the brain handle specific functions, one area for vision, another for movement, another for speech. But even with this knowledge, the full map of the brain's connections, called the connectome, remains one of the greatest scientific frontiers. Modern brain research uses advanced imaging technologies like magnetic resonance scanners and functional neural mapping to watch thoughts in motion. We can see which regions light up when a person plays music, recalls a memory, or feels love. Yet, we still cannot fully decode how billions of neurons produce something as abstract as consciousness. That mystery, how the brain gives rise to the mind, is the very reason brain implants exist. If we can understand the language of neurons, we can learn to communicate directly with the brain itself. That means we can restore lost abilities, bridge broken connections, and perhaps even upgrade human potential. The brain, in essence, is a living electrical network. Every emotion, memory, and decision is encoded in tiny bursts of energy and chemicals. If those signals can be read and interpreted, technology can interact with the human mind on an entirely new level. What was once impossible, thought-controlled machines, artificial memory, even shared consciousness, is now entering the realm of reality. And it all begins with one remarkable invention: the brain-computer interface. Imagine controlling a computer, a car, or even a spacecraft using nothing but your thoughts. That is the promise of brain-computer interfaces, often called BCIs. These devices form a direct communication link between the brain and an external machine, translating neural signals into commands that technology can understand. The concept may sound futuristic, but its origins go back to the early 1970s. At that time, scientists began experimenting with ways to record brain activity through electrodes placed on the scalp. These early attempts were crude, capturing only vague patterns of thought. Yet, they laid the foundation for what would become one of the most revolutionary technologies of the 21st century. Today, brain-computer interfaces can decode signals directly from individual neurons. They can interpret the intentions of a person who cannot move and turn those intentions into actions on a screen or through a robotic limb. For patients with paralysis or spinal injuries, this technology is nothing short of life-changing. In laboratories across the world, breakthroughs are happening at an astonishing pace. In the United States, researchers at institutions like Brown University and Stanford University have created brain chips that allow patients to move robotic arms, write text, and even play video games all through thought alone. In 2023, a company called Neuralink implanted its first fully wireless brain chip in a human volunteer, marking a new chapter in neural engineering. The device can read and transmit brain signals with extraordinary precision, offering new hope for those with neurological disorders. But brain-computer interfaces are not only about restoring lost functions. They also open the door to enhancement, the ability to go beyond human limits. With future versions, people may be able to store memories digitally, access knowledge instantly, or communicate telepathically through shared data networks. A world where thought becomes data and data becomes thought is no longer fantasy. Yet, as we step closer to merging with machines, deep ethical questions emerge. Who controls this technology? Who owns the data that comes from our brains? And what happens if someone can alter those signals? These are not just technical challenges, they are moral ones. The rise of brain-computer interfaces brings both incredible potential and profound risk. They have the power to heal millions, but also the potential to redefine what it means to be human. In hospitals and research centers around the world, something extraordinary is happening. Patients who once faced the limits of biology are finding new life through the union of mind and machine. Brain implants are no longer just a dream of the future. They are already saving lives today. For people suffering from paralysis, these devices can bypass damaged nerves and reconnect the brain to movement. In the United States, a man who had lost all control from the neck down learned to move a robotic arm using only his thoughts. He could shake hands, hold a drink, and even feed himself again. What medicine could not repair, technology helped restore. For those living with Parkinson's disease, deep brain stimulation has become a powerful tool. Tiny electrodes are implanted deep inside the brain and deliver controlled electrical pulses that reduce tremors and muscle stiffness. The results are often astonishing. Patients who once struggled to speak or walk can suddenly stand up and move freely again. But the potential goes far beyond physical movement. For people battling depression, anxiety, or post-traumatic stress disorder, brain implants offer a new kind of hope. By stimulating specific neural circuits, scientists can help reset patterns of activity linked to emotional suffering. Early trials have shown that patients who did not respond to medication are finding relief through these devices. In another groundbreaking area, researchers are working on restoring sight and hearing. Artificial retinas are allowing blind individuals to perceive light and shapes once again. Cochlear implants are helping the deaf hear sounds they never experienced before. Bit by bit, science is restoring the senses that connect us to the world. Perhaps the most remarkable progress is happening in memory research. At the University of Southern California, scientists have developed a memory prosthesis that can mimic the way the brain stores and retrieves information. In experiments, the implant helped improve short-term memory in patients with brain injuries. This means one day, we might be able to preserve memories or even transfer them to artificial systems. These breakthroughs are redefining the boundary between healing and enhancement. They show that the brain is not a closed system. It can be repaired, reprogrammed, and even improved through the careful application of technology. Yet, every miracle also brings a question. If we can alter thoughts, can we also manipulate them? If we can erase trauma, can we remove identity? As we continue to explore the brain, we must also learn to protect the essence of who we are. What happens when the human brain is no longer limited by biology? When thought itself becomes faster, memory infinite, and creativity limitless? This is the world that brain implants may one day create, a world where the boundaries of the human mind begin to dissolve. Scientists believe that the same technology used to heal could soon be used to enhance. In the near future, a brain implant could boost learning speed, sharpen memory, or even expand perception. Imagine reading an entire book in seconds, mastering a new language in minutes, or analyzing complex data in real time without using a screen. With brain-computer technology, this may not just be science fiction. Companies like Neuralink, Synchron, and Kernel are exploring implants that could help healthy people interface directly with artificial intelligence. These devices would not only restore abilities but add entirely new ones. The human mind could link seamlessly to the digital world, merging thought with computation. Instead of typing, people could communicate through shared mental signals. Instead of searching the internet itself could flow directly into the brain. But this vision comes with extraordinary questions. If the brain can be upgraded like software, what happens to individuality? Would enhanced humans leave others behind? Would intelligence itself become a form of inequality? Philosophers and neuroscientists warn that the age of the enhanced mind could redefine identity, morality, and freedom. If a person's thoughts can be recorded, can they also be hacked? If emotions can be adjusted, can they also be controlled? The fusion of biology and machine opens a new chapter in evolution, but one that demands great caution. Still, the potential is too powerful to ignore. A brain connected to artificial intelligence could accelerate discovery, solve problems beyond human reach, and unlock creativity on a scale never seen before. Some scientists even believe that collective intelligence, millions of linked minds, could emerge from these connections, forming a global brain of shared thought. In this vision, humanity itself becomes a network, united by consciousness and technology. It could mark the beginning of a new species, not purely human, not purely machine, but something entirely new. The neural dawn is rising. And as we step into it, one truth becomes clear. The evolution of the mind has only just begun. Every great leap in human history has carried both promise and peril. Fire brought warmth, but also destruction. Electricity illuminated cities, but created new dangers. Now, as humanity begins to merge mind with machine, we face an ethical frontier unlike any before. Brain implants and neural technology give us the power to alter thought itself. This is no longer about machines we use, but about machines that become part of who we are. That change raises questions not only for science, but for the soul. Who will control this technology? If a corporation or government can access neural data, they could read emotions, preferences, and memories. Privacy would take on entirely new meaning. Today, companies track what we buy and where we go. Tomorrow, they could track what we think and feel. This is why researchers and ethicists are calling for global standards to protect mental privacy, the right to keep one's thoughts one's own. There's also the question of identity. If a person can change their mood with the press of a button, or erase memories that cause pain, how do we define authenticity? Would we still be ourselves, or something manufactured? Our memories, both good and bad, shape who we are. To edit them could mean to edit our humanity. Inequality could also become more severe. If brain enhancements become available only to the wealthy, society could divide not just by income, but by intelligence. An elite class of augmented humans could emerge, leaving others behind. This is known as the cognitive divide, a future where the gap between rich and poor is measured in mental power. And yet, banning progress entirely is not the answer. Innovation has always been double-edged. The same tools that can be abused can also uplift. Neural technology could help millions overcome disabilities, expand education, and create art in ways once thought impossible. It is not the technology itself that defines our future, but how we choose to use it. The ethical challenge, then, is to balance advancement with responsibility, to ensure that humanity remains at the center of its own evolution. Scientists, philosophers, lawmakers, and citizens must work together to build safeguards that protect both freedom and dignity. Because the most important part of this journey is not whether we can become smarter or faster. It is whether we can remain human. The deeper we venture into the neural age, the more we realize that the question is not just can we do this, but should we? For the first time in history, humanity is beginning to hold the tools of its own evolution. With brain implants, memory enhancement, and artificial intelligence integration, we are no longer limited by natural selection. We can design, edit, and even upgrade ourselves. But in doing so, we risk losing something irreplaceable: the mystery of being human. Imagine a world where emotions could be switched off like lights, where fear, love, or sadness could be dialed up or down at will. Would that make life better, or would it drain existence of its depth and meaning? Pain and joy are not flaws of the human condition. They are the very forces that give life its story. Without them, would we still feel truly alive? Philosophers call this the paradox of perfection. As we approach a state where technology can eliminate suffering and uncertainty, we may also eliminate the very struggles that make us human. To live without limits could mean to live without purpose. There are also moral concerns surrounding consent and autonomy. If a person receives a neural implant that alters their emotions or decisions, are those choices still their own? If a soldier has their fear response suppressed to enhance performance, have they freely chosen courage, or has it been programmed into them? Such questions will reshape the foundations of law, ethics, and human rights. In many ways, our minds are the final frontier of privacy. Every thought, every memory, every dream exists within the sanctuary of the self. But as brain-computer interfaces become more advanced, even that inner space may no longer be private. Scientists have already demonstrated that certain neural signals can reveal what letter a person is thinking of, or what image they are imagining. If that capability evolves, the mind itself could become transparent. Thoughts could be decoded, recorded, or even stolen. This leads to the birth of a new field, neuroethics. It is the study of moral and legal rules surrounding the human brain. Leading researchers argue that just as we created digital rights to protect online privacy, we now need neural rights, the right to mental freedom, to personal identity, and to cognitive security. Countries like Chile have already begun drafting laws that protect these rights, recognizing that mental data must never be bought, sold, or manipulated. Another concern lies in the potential weaponization of neural technology. If thoughts can be influenced or overridden, could brain implants become tools of control? Could they be used in warfare, propaganda, or interrogation? The same technology that heals and enhances could also enslave. This is why transparency and international cooperation will be vital. The decisions we make today will determine whether brain technology becomes humanity's liberation or its downfall. But not all outcomes are dark. When used with wisdom and empathy, brain implants could strengthen compassion rather than weaken it. Imagine global education programs where knowledge flows directly between minds. Imagine art created from shared consciousness, or therapy that heals emotional trauma by rewiring harmful patterns. Used ethically, these tools could unlock the next stage of emotional evolution, an age where technology helps us understand one another more deeply than ever before. The future of neural technology is not just about intelligence or power. It is about awareness of ourselves, of others, and of the responsibility that comes with creation. We must learn to guide our inventions, not worship them. Because once we begin to rewrite the code of the human mind, we are not just shaping machines. We are shaping the destiny of the species itself. And perhaps the most powerful safeguard will not be a law or a government regulation, but a shared understanding that the human mind, in all its flaws and brilliance, is sacred. To enhance it is to touch the core of existence itself. The question is not whether we can. It is whether we are wise enough to know when to stop. Every civilization reaches a point where it must choose its path forward. For thousands of years, humanity has shaped its destiny through stone, fire, metal, and code. Now, we stand on the edge of something greater, an evolution not of the body, but of the mind. This is not science fiction anymore. From laboratories in California to research centers in Europe and Asia, the foundations of neural technology are being laid brick by brick. Tiny electrodes already allow paralyzed patients to move robotic arms with thought alone. Prototypes of memory chips are restoring lost recollections in animals. Artificial intelligence is beginning to interpret brain signals and convert them into speech or images. Each of these steps brings us closer to merging with the very systems we once built. Some scientists call this the next phase of human evolution, the age of cognitive convergence. An era where biology and technology no longer exist as opposites, but as parts of a single living network. It is an evolution guided not by natural selection, but by intention. We are becoming the architects of our own consciousness. Yet even as we advance, one truth remains unchanged. Technology does not define us. Our choices do. The future of the human mind will not depend on how powerful our machines become, but on how deeply we understand ourselves. The dream of linking mind and machine could lead to incredible progress, the curing of neurological diseases, the expansion of learning, and the birth of new art forms and philosophies. But if we lose empathy, if we forget the meaning of connection, then all the data and computation in the universe will not make us truly intelligent. Perhaps that is the paradox of this new age. The closer we get to artificial perfection, the more important it becomes to remember imperfection. The more we merge with our machines, the more we must preserve the human heart that drives innovation in the first place. In time, neural technology may redefine what it means to be alive. Our memories may live on as digital echoes. Our minds may explore distant worlds without ever leaving the earth, and the boundary between the self and the infinite may dissolve. But no matter how far we evolve, one question will always remain. What does it mean to be human? Is it our intelligence, our imagination, or our ability to dream? Or is it the simple truth that even as we reach for the stars, we still wonder who we are? The neural dawn is not just the story of machines learning to think. It is the story of humanity learning to understand itself. Every discovery, every breakthrough, every spark of innovation brings us closer not only to the future, but to our own reflection. As the age of brain implants, artificial intelligence, and digital consciousness unfolds, we must remember that the universe inside the mind is just as vast and mysterious as the universe beyond the stars. To explore it is to begin the greatest journey of all, the journey toward understanding what it truly means to exist. This is not the end of humanity, it is a new beginning. The dawn of a species that dares to merge thought with creation, emotion with technology, and consciousness with infinity. The next evolution is not out there, it is within us. As we step into this new era, one truth echoes through time. Humanity has always reached beyond its limits. From fire to flight, from the atom to the stars, every step forward has reshaped who we are. Now we are not just exploring the universe around us. We are exploring the universe within. The mind, once a mystery, is becoming our next frontier. But with every discovery comes a choice to use knowledge for creation or for control, for progress or for power. The future of humanity will not be written by machines. It will be written by the hearts and minds that guide them. So, as we move toward this neural dawn, let us remember that technology is only as powerful as the compassion behind it. Because in the end, the greatest advancement is not artificial intelligence, it is awakened intelligence. The kind that feels, dreams, and dares to imagine a better world. If this journey into the future inspired you, make sure to subscribe for more explorations into science, consciousness, and the mysteries that shape our universe. Together, let us keep asking questions. Let us keep reaching for the unknown. And let us never forget the greatest frontier is still the human spirit.